All right, so this is looking pretty good. Let's put the light back on. Okay, but instead of a distant light, let's make it an area light. And that's going to help give us a little bit nicer shadow, much softer. We won't get that long, hard shadow from the back. Okay, the only problem with that is it's going to increase our render times. Okay, but you can see that we don't have that long shadow in the back. Remember, this is the radiosity doing all this here, and in the final it smooths out. So for now, let's let this one finish so you see it, but for now we're going to keep it as is. And we might want to throw some light on the back because we do have a set that actually curves around. But we need to be a little bit brighter right here. So we're going to add a couple of more of these whiteboards, which not only are going to help light up the scene, but it's also going to give us some reflections as well. But we're not going to do them quite as typical as our first project. We're going to do it a little bit different. And this is rendering pretty well on a 4-year-old computer with full glass, full refraction, reflections, ray tracing, shadows, area lights. It's really not too bad. You know, about a minute 15. Okay, so there's the same shot with an area light, and you see much softer shadow all around it. So the glass is working pretty nicely for us. Got nice curvature in there, some nice tones. Okay, so let's do this. Save all objects so our surface is saved, and then save the scene. Now from here, we're going to take our whiteboard, and let me change this to a wireframe so you can see what's happening here. Okay. There's the whiteboard. Okay. Control C. We're going to clone it twice. Press T, and we're going to move that second one or third one over. We're going to rotate it like this. This is the only part that gets a little bit tricky, just trying to align these so that they sorry, I clicked right out of it. Just aligning these so that they reflect in the bottle. And often that's just a little bit of good trial and error. Got to make sure they're big enough too. We're going to move this over here, this way. Now let's go back. Actually, I want this one to, don't forget, these are also going to be a light source. So let me do this. We'll make our second light, our second whiteboard off to the left in front. This one's actually just going to be right in back like that. Okay. And then our second whiteboard, which is, remember, it's a clone, so it's actually just sitting right there. We're going to pull that out of there, rotate this, and then this one we'll put out in front. Okay, kind of way back here. All right, now that might be a little overkill, so I'm going to go Shift S to save the scene. That gives me an incremental version. I'll press F9. And actually it looks okay. Yeah, because the farther away I move them, the less influence they're going to have. And if that's the case, that other one might be okay, but this one, let's move this right up on top of this. We just don't want to be able to see it, so we're going to get this just about out of frame like that. Just a little bit more. That creates just a little bit of a bright spot back over here, which is what we want. And it fills in behind the bottle. We'll let this one finish out. Now, I still want to see some reflection in here as well. I can see a little bit of the one from above and a little bit of the one in the back, but I can't see the one off to the left. So after I do this particular render here, I'm going to pull that front one in a little bit so it shows up in the reflection. Now, you can go in and blur the reflection so you don't have quite such a sharp hotspot. But I think it'll look okay as it is because I think the bottle itself is soft enough. It should work just fine. Yeah, the radiosity is does take up some time. But here, now you can see this light source, this whiteboard acting as a light source. And that's being calculated because of the final gather radiosity that's being calculated. And we've got to put our gold metal on the top, make some duplicates, and set up our final render. Okay. But the good thing is now we have a nice, soft, even flow here. Looks like we're catching a shadow from the whiteboard, so we're going to have to make sure that's off. And we're going to move this one back just a little bit. So let's move on to the next video. I will tweak these because it's just going to take a little trial and error just with placement, and I'll show you where they end up.